Alright, so guys, I'll just be giving a brief introduction to just Git and GitHub. So basically you can just sign up to GitHub, right? GitHub.com and just create an account. And for the most part, all you just need just come here, create a new repository. See here. So just create a new repository. So my repo. Okay. Just make it public. Add a README and create. That's all. So we'll be given a default branch main, and if you're going to work on this, you'll be working on this most likely on your device, right? So you need to clone this repository. So if we need to clone, we can just let me just go to my terminal. I don't think I have a terminal open. Okay. Let's open it here. So you just need to clone, just go to the site directory, then you do a git clone. You don't put repository here, repository URL, and it clones, right? So let's go into that variable. So most times what you'll be doing, like you make changes to file, you create files, then you need to now like push it to your repository. So if I open this, let me just open this on VS Code. This is our repository. So basically we can add a new file. Let's just call it file dot let's do .js, right? So we have a JS file. All it does is console.log. Oh no, just to hello, right? Very simple. So what you need to do now, you need to stage this so Git can track it, right? Stage it. Then remember, right now we are working on our local repository. Now there are two repositories, the local and the remote. So the remote could be on another device, on that machine, just like GitHub, Bitbucket, or any self-hosted repository, right? So we have the remote and we have the local, which is your device. So when you are cloning, remember, we're just making a copy of what we have on GitHub. That's what happened when we clone, right? So for the most part, we will need to like synchronize it with what we have remotely. So if we go to our terminal, so if we list the files now, see we have a new file app.js. So we can now add it. So we can do a git. Two things, if you want to add everything, you can just do git dot to add everything in that directory, right? Recursively. Then, or if you just want to add this file, git app.js. Oh, sorry, git add app.js. That's it. So after you've added, after you make changes, you just need to add. If it's a new file, you add. Then when you're done, you can now commit, right? So you can do a git commit. Then you add a message, right? So commits are like checkpoints in your repository, right? So because you might have situations where you need to revert to a specific commit. So think of commits as checkpoints, right? So it's good to have a very descriptive message so you know what happened at that point, right? So in case you need to revert back. So let's say added, created app.js file, whatever descriptive message you can put, right? So that's this game. So the next thing is to synchronize it with what we have on our remotes. So if you check the git remote, if you put this command git remote v, right, see that right now, because we clone from this repo, right, our remote repository is set to this. You can have like different repositories. You can have multiple repositories, not just the one you clone, right? You can have multiple. Let me just use this as an example. You can just say git remote add, let's call it origin. Okay. This. So now I have two remote repos, origin and origin 2, right? So the next thing is to now, by default, you get origin. You don't need to have this, right? I'm just showing you this that you can have multiple remote repository. Now you can now push to your repository. Push is just you synchronizing what you have locally with what you have on the server. So I can do a git push, and I can push to any of them. It could be origin, it could be origin 2, any of them. Then I add the branch. Let me check the branch. So in Git, right, you can have different branches, right? So I can have different branches for a particular repository. So currently we're on the Git, we're on the main branch, right, which is like default branch. So you can do a git push origin. Let's use origin main. So it's done, right? So if we go to this, we'll go to GitHub. You see now we've pushed here. Now we have under commit, right? Now we have app.js here, and it said 2 minutes ago. Remember, it was 2 minutes ago that we committed it locally. Like I said, it's not when we push it that matters, when we commit, right? Because pushing is just synchronizing. We just want, okay, what we have locally to align with what we have on our repository. That's just it. Another thing could be, okay, you're working in a team, right? And you guys need to work on different features, because it doesn't make sense if uh, two developers are working on the same file. You can have a conflict, because if you change the same line, imagine you have two different things going into the same line. Git has to decide. So like this app.js. Now, if for example now I made a change here, I changed this to high, and another dev also changed this line to hey, right? How would Git decide? So we call that a conflict, right? When we have multiple changes to a specific line. So that's why it's good to work on different branches, right? Good. So if you have multiple changes, you can create a conflict, and you might now need to resolve that conflict. That is, you help Git decide which one to pick, if it's your changes, if it's your change or the other um, change. So most times what we do is we branch out, right? Maybe I want to add a new feature, right? I can say main. So I can do okay, messaging. Maybe I want to add a new feature called messaging. So I can just branch out, right? Then do git checkout b, let's call it messaging. So I've switched to a new branch now. So if we check our branch now, see we have messaging. Good. So I can do whatever I want to do in messaging, and the other dev or whatever or whoever can work on a different branch too. Then we can now decide to merge them later, one after the other. You know, if you're merging one after the other, so it's one change at a time, right? So now now we're on our branch extend messaging. So we can create a new file. Let's call it messaging, right? Let's rename messaging.js. Okay, console.log message. That's a new feature we added, right? So we just push to our branch. So we can do a git check the status. Now we have a new file branch. Sorry, messaging. So we can do a git add messaging. Most time I just do this because I'm adding everything git add dots, right? So we check the status now. We've added a new file stage. So now we can commit git commit added messaging log. Fantastic. So now we can try to push our branch, right? So it's now be git push origin to messaging. Let's see what happens, because remember we don't have messaging on the origin. So it has created a new branch, messaging. So now, fantastic. So there's a new branch now called messaging. It doesn't sync yet. Okay. So now there's a new branch, messaging. So you can see our branch, it has this file messaging, but the main doesn't have it. So eventually, could be you or maybe a senior dev could now compare it and merge them. That's just how it works, right? So you can merge your branch easily. So that's just like a basic introduction to Git, right? So it's just basically trying to create a copy of your code base, right? Good. So um, another thing we can just look at is how do we now merge, right? Now, for example, now I can go to my main branch. So if I want to merge, I can just say git switch. I can switch to my other branch, right? Main. Now I'm in main. So if you check, this is our code base now. You're not going to see messaging here, because now we're in main and the main branch doesn't have messaging. But what do we want to do? We want to try and merge. So you can just do git merge. What's the branch? Messaging. I'm going to merge them. That's it. See, now we have messaging. It has been merged. It's as simple as that. Now we can do a git. Let's check the status. Your branch is ahead. So if it's ahead, so let's push git push origin main. Good. So we had a new feature in messaging. We've checked it out. We've realized that, okay, fine, the feature is fine, that we can merge it to our main branch. Then we push. So when we push, check on GitHub now, it will be synchronized. So you can see our main branch now has messaging. So for the most part, that's what we're going to be doing with Git and GitHub, right? So thank you.